Ladies and pigeons.
Why pigeons?
Andy here. Day 216 of the Inner Winner Show. Literally the best podcast in the known universe. I'm here joined by my girlfriend. A woman that you all know and love and have sex with.
No.
Okay, well that's me, Imogen. Hi.
Hi.
If you're listening to this as the audio version, it's also available on YouTube. And I'm waving to the camera, and you podcast geeks can't see me waving because y'all are losers and you don't like visual information. So we are going to talk today about BlackDragon and why he's a piece of shit, and Chris from Good Looking Loser and why he's a fucking cunt.
It's all very inflammatory.
Yeah, because you got to get that clickbait drama. Like, so I want someone to clip that and like send it to both of them.
Yeah.
Don't. Like, they're both probably happily living their lives. Leave them the fuck alone. You guys are cunts. Like, don't harass those two beautiful men. So, but we do disagree with like a couple of points that they both make.
Sure.
Particularly when it comes to the question, and I've covered this before, the question that girls ask sometimes, where they say, where is this going? Or what are we? Or what do you want from me? Like, are we casual? Are we dating properly? Like, what is this? Like, what the fuck are your expectations? Essentially is that question. What do you want from me? That's that question. And BlackDragon says to deflect and change the subject, which I feel is like something a 2-year-old would do, which is strange from the guy whose whole shtick is being an alpha male and all that kind of stuff. I feel like that's a very juvenile way of covering, but that's what he chooses to do. Chris from Good Looking Loser says to get angry and intentionally guilt trip her and manipulate her. And I got to say, I disagree with both of those as ways of handling that question. I've written an article before called How to Handle What Are We or Where This Is Going. And I essentially advocate for just tell the fucking truth. Like, it's infinitely easier for you, even if you want to be a selfish, like, completely and there's nothing wrong with being selfish, but even if you want to be like Mr. Selfish, it's good from your point of view to be honest, because then there's less drama. She's not going to blow up another 3 months down the track when you keep stringing her along and lying to her or deflecting. Like, if you deflect, she's going to have to ask again in future, right? Or she's just going to fade out and leave.
Yeah, I think the more you, I guess, avoid the question, the harder it makes it for her to, I guess, be comfortable being around you, because
yeah, you're the weirdo who won't answer a simple question.
Yeah, and that whole time she
like,
just
how fucking weird is that?
In the back of her mind, just being like, I don't know how to ask this. I don't know if you're using me.
Yeah.
I think it's all that conversation. Also, we didn't clap at the start, by the way.
They won't know what that means. Don't worry about that.
Okay.
But we can clap now, actually. Let's clap now. So everybody close your ears. We're going to clap. If you have no idea why we just clapped, it's so that we can sync all the audios up between the camera, my microphone, and Imogen's microphone. So there you go. There's a little podcast trick for you guys. But I think we can also cover the idea, because you guys are all on board. If you're listening to my shit, you're on board with the idea of honesty and that being easier for you, easier for her. I'll let you guys read my stuff because you want to be honest. You're honest people. You couldn't fathom the idea of lying. Like, it feels just gross to you. And I'll also point out another article I did, or a podcast I did a while ago, called Other People Have a Different Rulebook to You. And I want to make it clear that I think this is one of those things where BlackDragon didn't really care about keeping girls on the same team as him. He wasn't really that bothered about honesty. He really wasn't that bothered about having women be his partners, if you know what I mean, like a partner in crime, or like someone that can be on your team, like a girl that you can just be real with and just like talk honestly with. Yeah. Chris kind of semi did that, but like not on this one point. This is the one point where he didn't treat girls like they were on his team.
I think particularly with BlackDragon, just because we have had this conversation a few times, from what you've told me, it seems that he's very much about like being independent, doing your own shit. And I think you put it to me this way before, but almost just begrudgingly accepts that he needs women in his life.
Yeah, I get the sense from reading BlackDragon's blog that if he'd been born without a sex drive, he'd probably be quite happy. But I definitely don't get the sense that he's someone, like, I think he enjoys women's company. And again, I'm, psychoanalyzing someone that I've never met. So bear that in mind. And this isn't meant as some big diss to BlackDragon, but I definitely disagree with this philosophy of his. And again, this is his rule book. He chooses to be dishonest with women or to bat away the question and pretend that, deflect like a child would. That's a different rule book. I choose not to do that. I will never advocate for that. And I want to get into the topic here of empathy. And this was the main, because you and I discussed this on a train one day. We were sitting on a train talking about this. And I said, I think this would make a good podcast because we can come at it from the angle of empathy. And from the girl's point of view, if you just take a pause, and I know that someone like BlackDragon really never likes to do this ever. I've never seen a single article, and I'm sure there must be one or two, fine, but I haven't read, and I've read a lot of his stuff, I haven't read a single article where he looks like he empathizes with women at all. Good Looking Loser did. Good Looking Loser empathized plenty with women. He was quite nice to women, which was why I was so goddamn confused that his answer to the question of like, where is this going? His answer was to just guilt trip her and emotionally blackmail her. That confused me. It's just the opposite of the Chris that I got to know through reading every single one of his articles and his videos and stuff. He was quite nice to women, so I'm not sure why the fuck he thought he had to lie to them. But from BlackDragon's point of view, I don't get the sense that he ever empathizes with women. In fact, I think he thinks that they're children from the way that he talks about them, that they can never be anything more than like basically a wet hole. And maybe I'm being a little unfair in my criticism there, but that's the vibe that I get. I definitely don't think that he thinks that women are on anywhere near the level men are. I get more like red pill vibes from him than someone like Chris, who for the most part just says like, yeah, women are just like people. Like they're just men with a pussy. In fact, I was the one that came up with that fucking quote. I used to say that on the Good Looking Loser forums. I was like, women are just men with a pussy. Like, well, this weird beast. But let's talk about empathy. Mm-hmm. So from the girl's point of view, she comes to you and she says, where is this going? Or what are we? Or like, that's another way of phrasing, what are the expectations? Like, what do you want from me? What do you expect from me? Like, what are your plans kind of thing?
Like, what am I to you? Like, is this a relationship? Is this just like a friends with benefits?
And a lot of guys look at that as a manipulation tactic and they say, oh, she's trying to manipulate me. I used to as well. When I was heavily into the red pill stuff, I was like, I told you, there was a girl that came to me and she had that whole conversation. She was crying while she did it. And in my stupid little red pill mind, I was like, oh, she's trying to manipulate me. As she's like bawling her fucking eyes out saying like, I just want to know, like, do you care? Like, what do you want from me? Like, and I was like, man, this bitch is trying to manipulate me. And so I think a lot of guys see it as that, as a manipulation tactic, instead of looking past that and looking at her intent and like actually connecting with her as a person and saying, oh, she just like wants to know what the fuck is going on so she can plan her fucking future, right? It doesn't have to be like this she's not planning her entire life, but like if she doesn't even know where she stands with you, if you're even getting this question, like we don't get this question. I don't get this question. I haven't had this question for like 2 or 3 years, like 3 years. Like no girl asks me this question because I make it abundantly clear. This will be casual. This will be this. This will be that. Like I lay out the terms very early on. I make it very honest. Very upfront on fucking Tinder. I say like, I'm not looking for anything super serious, but if you want to just date casually and, have a bit of fun, let's do that. And I think most of my audience does the same thing. And so this question doesn't come up that often because she already knows you've already explained your expectations or explained what you want, explained your plan, so to speak. You don't have to have a big plan, but you've basically said, here's what I'm looking for. Are you looking for the same thing? And then she's like, yeah, sure, that sounds good. The issue is like, if you follow BlackDragon's philosophy on this topic, or Chris's from Good Looking Loser on this topic, they're not even telling girls like what they're expecting. And fine, they're both married now, so I think they do a lot less, but we're just talking about their advice. Their advice is not to like tell girls what you're expecting or what you want or what your plan is or any of that sort of stuff. It's just like string them along, and at some point they will bring up the topic of where is this going, and then you just deflect or you lie. It's far easier to just like tell her up front. Like, don't you want to know from girls, like you guys listening, don't you guys want to know from girls what they're willing? Like, if you could, as early as possible, know if she's going to sleep with you or not, don't you want to know that information? Like, don't you want that as early as you possibly can? And you can get that, by the way, by screening, by making it very clear up front, hey, I'm not looking for anything super serious. I'm looking for something casual. Does that suit you? Let's grab a drink. That's how you get your answer. She'll say, yeah, that sounds good. Cool. Now you know that she's willing to sleep with you if she likes you on the date, right? Like, if you guys meet, you both kind of click, she'll fuck you. Like, you want that information as early as possible. Look at it from her point of view. Don't you think she wants the information as soon as possible too? That doesn't mean she's looking for a relationship. Because I think, I'll hand this over to you now. I think there's this weird, like, stereotype that every girl's looking for a relationship. That is not the fucking case.
Yeah, it's just that she wants some answers. Like, without framing it as this, like, men and women thing, that they're this, like, other person that has these ulterior motives. It's just, like, another human that, like, wants to figure out where they stand, what they want to do, what's
Nobody
happening.
likes to be sitting there in the dark, not knowing, like, what the plan is or where this is going or what your expectations are or what the future holds.
Yeah, in comparison, like, if this was, like, any other topic, whether it was a man or a woman, and you're asking a question and someone, like, just flat out ignores it or deflects it every single time, that'd be really fucking annoying.
It's so socially inept. That's why I said it's like a child. It's literally like you're giving silent treatment. You're like, I'm just going to deflect and change the topic. And you and I talked about this on the train. We said, in BlackDragon's case, so BlackDragon is an older man. I think he's in his 40s. He's very rich. He wears suits all the time. He has a lot of power. He's very confident. He's very stoic. He's very, like, you know, he keeps things to himself. He's not someone that's emotionally open. He's very, like, quiet and reserved, right? He's the definition of, like, what would the word be? Like, when you're quiet and reserved, whatever. He's the definition of that, whatever the word for that is. Mysterious, even. And if you're a younger girl, which he likes to date girls around about, I think, like 23. He does sleep with younger girls, but he has talked a lot of the time. He doesn't really, like, get on with them well, but he does have sex with them. He just doesn't have, like, long conversations with them. Anyway, so he likes younger women. Between 18 and like 25. That's like kind of the market that he likes the most. Imagine you're an 18 to 25-year-old girl and you're dating a guy in his 40s who's super confident, super like alpha and masculine, wears a suit, has his own businesses, doesn't really care that much about you, and it's very clear that he could sleep with any other woman, right, if he wanted to. Like, you're in the position of like, holy shit, this guy is like intimidating. And I don't mean that in a bad way, but like, you as the girl are definitely in the position of like, holy shit, I look up to this guy, I respect him. Like, he's up here and I'm like here. I'm lucky to be on a date with him. There are a lot of girls that feel like that, especially if you're dating someone like him who he doesn't coast by on his looks. Let's just say that. He's someone that he's talked about it on a few videos, that he's working on his looks. He needs to lose weight. He admits that. Girls who are on a date with him or who are sleeping with him are doing so because of all the other factors that make up his personality. The fact that he's so confident, that he's older, that he's worldly, that he has money, all that kind of stuff, right? So if you're that girl in that position, how fucking intimidating is it for you to bring up the conversation of where is this going? You got to think from the girl's point of view. How goddamn hard is it to even get to that point where you work up the courage? Remember that you're like a 20-year-old girl or an 18-year-old girl. Talking to a 40-something-year-old man who's as old as your fucking father. Well, slightly younger than your father. It's fucking hard to bring up that. That's a hard question to bring up. That's going to take a lot of goddamn confidence. Like, full credit to the girls who work up the courage to say that. And then he swats it away and says like, oh, let's just talk about something else. He just deflects. He doesn't answer the question. He deflects. From her point of view, a lot of those girls are going to go like, shit, well, I'm not going to bring this up again. Because, like, I feel like an idiot now. He just, like, deflected and changed the subject. It was probably a stupid question. Why did I ask that stupid question? So she goes away for a couple of months, and he's even mentioned this. Like, a lot of girls won't ask again for a few more months, and then they'll bring it up again in a couple more months, and you just keep deflecting. Like, you gotta look at it from her point of view. She's sitting there going like, I want the answer to this question. It's really fucking hard for me to ask this question. I work up the courage, and I get swatted away like I'm a stupid child that asked a stupid question. I feel like an idiot. And I have to go away for 3 months and like just wait and see what happens.
Yeah, and I think
it's just unnecessary. I would say that. I feel like it's unnecessary. Like, if you can choose to do no harm, would you not choose to do that? Is that not the default? Am I wrong? Am I just stupid in saying that? Like, I understand the concept of a different rule book, and maybe I care more about not doing any harm, or I care more about like being honest with people and nice to people. Maybe he doesn't care. And fair enough, if he doesn't care, that's his life. But if you have the choice, I guess I just don't understand why he and Chris from Good Looking Loser have made this choice when they didn't have to. Both of them have a million other options. I don't understand deflecting the question or lying to women when it's not necessary. They could have just said, by the way, like in BlackDragon's case, I'm literally already married to someone else in an open relationship. You're just going to be my friends with benefits. If that doesn't suit you, that's fair enough. Like, I'm not going to make you do anything. But if it suits you, we'll keep seeing each other. Most girls would be like, yeah, sure. Thank you. I appreciate the honesty. Cool. Now I know where I stand.
Yeah, I think that... By the way, when we talk about rule books, go watch or listen to another episode that was all about rule books. It's basically the idea that people have different ideologies or philosophies that dictate how they act or behave.
Mm-hmm. I'll leave a link in the show notes below to that. Good call.
But yeah, with that, I guess it seems that maybe the empathy thing feels like too much effort. Like, I guess there is that idea of if you haven't tried something before...
Yeah.
Like having that conversation, you know, in your head you could be like, oh, it's such a big thing. Like it's a sit down, it's a big deal. They're just somebody casual. Why would I care about how they feel? I think it's also, I guess, particularly with BlackDragon, if you're all about like being independent and like I've got my own life, there's almost that expectation of like she's her own person. Like if she gets upset or strung along, like that's her problem or her fault. Like which is unfair. Like we said about like empathy before, like if she's asking that question, she's trying to take responsibility and look out for herself, so to speak. And you're almost preventing that from happening. And because she is in a situation in which it's harder for her to ask questions as the younger less experienced female person in the relationship, her even asking is like, it probably takes a lot.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah. Yeah, and I do see that side of things. And I guess that would probably, knowing BlackDragon, because he's someone that very much values independence and low drama and low effort and stuff like that. And so I could see him saying something like that. That he just can't be bothered, basically. Or that he's like, why would I bother? It's just like casual. And so, but then my answer to that is, then why, like, how is deflecting not more effort than just telling her? If you're going for low effort and you're someone that has abundance and you're someone that has like the alpha male lifestyle, would you not just say like, yo, I just want to date you casually. You're just going to be sex to me. Is that not the lowest effort thing you could do? And then if she's not into it, she'd be like, hey, I'm not into that. And you'd be like, cool, I don't care. I'll just go date someone else. Like, I've got 3 other dates this week. Cool, bye. Like, I guess I'm just confused about why the option that seems like more effort to me is being marketed or being sold as the lower, easy, drama-free option. It's like, no, it's not. Every 2 months, depending on the girl, some girls will come back at you every month and say, where are we going? Where are we going? Where is this? What is this? Where are we going? Like, every month you have to have this fucking deflection and this drama. Who do you think's more likely to cause drama? And I've seen both sides of the coin. I used to do this. I used to do this stuff where I would lie to women exactly like this stuff is advocating, and it resulted in infinitely more drama 95% of the time. Conversely, now that I'm always honest with women and tell them exactly what I'm looking for, where the fuck would the drama come from? I don't have any drama. Why would there be drama? She knows exactly what's going on. At any point in time, she could clarify and ask again, and I'll have a fucking 20-minute conversation if she wants to. And I'll tell her everything and lay it all out. Like, there's no drama. There's never any drama. From 2 people who liked, especially BlackDragon, who really disliked drama, I'm confused why they chose the drama route. And I guess in their mind, they've rationalized it as like, no, it's not drama. If she like gets angry and blows up, like BlackDragon talks about on his website, he has this whole series about how to deal with drama and what to do if a girl blows up and yells at you and all this kind of stuff, right? Like how to deal with that. And he's talked about how to deal with it in like Friends with Benefits or when fuck buddies do it. And I read all that and I'm like, why is that even happening, dude? Like, when has a fuck buddy ever blown up at me? Like, why would that even happen? Why would it get to that stage? If you're honest and she's on your team from the very start, there's no point in which she comes over and just blows up and yells at you and starts drama. Why would she ever start drama? You've been honest. You've listened to her feelings. You've told her what's up. You've told her what you expect. Why would she ever need to come over and start drama? Drama starts because she feels like she's not being listened to.
Yeah, I think it really very likely comes down to Like, I haven't tried that before. So, like, that's the other option that's unexplored. So, that in itself, because I haven't tried it,
Fine.
I don't know, that's more effort.
This is where I get a bit frustrated with other content creators, right? BlackDragon is one of them. The Red Pill, the Rational Male. Like, I get I'm very frustrated with a lot of those guys because they will tell you guys something and they will say, this is the correct way to do it. And then I'll say, well, but you've never tried anything else. And they're like, nope, because nothing else will work. And you're like, but have you ever tried anything else? Nope, because this one works the best. And you're like, but at least I'm willing to say, I tried that, and I tried this, and I've tried 5 other things, and I may not even be correct, but this is what works best for me. I certainly don't come and say, this is the best way to do it, guys. Don't do it any other way. BlackDragon is the king. If you read his articles, read them carefully. He's the king of saying, this is what works. And then you say, what, do you mean it works for you? And it's like, nope, this is what works for everyone. Young women are stupid. Young women have nothing to talk about. Young women are not capable of a conversation. We read that. That's an excerpt from an article we read the other day. Apparently, any woman under 23 is not capable of a conversation. They just want to talk about Snapchat and blah, blah, blah. And I get that he exaggerates some stuff, but like, and that's a weird example, sure. But there are plenty of things on his blog where he says, this is the truth. This is the gospel truth. And it's like, no, it's not. That's you. Like, where have you pulled that from? That's the opposite of my experience, which means that you're literally wrong in saying that's the way things are. Because I literally have anecdotal evidence with plenty of it from plenty of coaching clients as well that you're wrong. Anyway, side tangent there.
Yeah.
Let's pull it back a little bit.
I think unfortunately and I mean, the 2 examples that we've mentioned of BlackDragon and Good Looking Loser, unfortunately that because the advice that's been given is told as gospel, there are casualties of that because...
Yeah. Guys who don't want to do that, who don't want to lie to women, but they go, well, they said that I have to. Like, they said it's the only way that works, or it's the way I should do it.
That guys end up hurting themselves because, like, this is the only way. Like, I have to do this. I've been told by the expert that this is the right thing to do. And so, like we said, like, people can have different rule books, sure, fine. I think, generally speaking, personally, wouldn't recommend advocating, like, stringing along or hurting other people. But, again, rule books, to some extent, do what you want to do. Mm-hmm. But then I think it does steer into the, for lack of a better word, unethical territory when you start telling other people, particularly people with little to no experience, that are asking for advice that this is the only way. And then that advice being advice that can very much hurt other people.
I'm very careful with advice that I give that I know could be used incorrectly. So maybe I'll leave a link in the show notes below to this episode. I did an episode about like STDs and condoms and stuff. And the point of the episode was STD, like transmission rates are greatly exaggerated. I showed you an article from Mark Manson. I talked about that. But one thing that I made abundantly clear was this is not me telling you not to wear condoms with girls that you trust. I am not telling you to do that. You need to assess the risks. You need to make your own decision. You need to work out as a man or a woman what you're going to do. I'm very, very, very careful. And this isn't me this podcast isn't supposed to be me jerking myself off and saying how wonderful I am. But like, I feel like I have a responsibility to my audience to be very careful with the advice I give if it could be mistaken and misused and like used to harm other people. I think it's incredibly irresponsible to say, especially in Good Looking Loser's case, actively lie and manipulate and guilt trip a woman who comes to you with this question. I think that's far beyond the line. Maybe you can say in BlackDragon's case, it's not unethical, so to speak. He's not doing anything wrong because he's just changing the subject. But I think in Chris's case, that is wrong. I think that most people would say like, yeah, that's not my rule book. I can't be on board with you actively guilt tripping her and saying, why are you asking me this question? I thought we had a good thing going, but now I'm having second, thoughts like, damn, I was really having fun with you. I don't know why you've done this. Why are you choosing to fuck the relationship up like this? Damn, I thought, I was thinking like we were getting closer. I thought I might make you my girlfriend at some point. And now you've done this. Like, I can't be on board with that. I really can't be on board with that. I'm very confused as to why he did that. Anyway, it's a side topic, but let's start wrapping up. We got 5 minutes left of recording. And add in another reason that I definitely would encourage you guys to look at it from the girl's point of view is from her point of view, she's trying to make a decision, right? Like she might be thinking of other people that she wants to date. Maybe she's got a guy that she has a crush on and she doesn't want to date him while she's seeing you. Or maybe there's other guys on Tinder or something hitting her up. Maybe she's just trying to figure out like what she wants. Maybe she wants something more concrete. Like she wants a relationship and she's not sure what the hell it is with you. And that's why she's coming to you with this question of like, where is this going? What is this? Because she's trying to figure out, should I keep seeing this guy casually? Or like maybe it'll turn into something like what even is this with him? Or should I just cut my losses right now and jump ship and go with that other guy, or go explore my other options, or start looking for a serious relationship if that's what she's looking for? She's trying to basically plan her life. Not her entire life, but like her dating life. And you, by withholding or actively manipulating, are stopping her from doing that. And you guys would not be happy if you were trying to make a decision and the person was actively giving you no information or changing the subject when you asked a direct question. We as men, especially we as men, do not like asking a direct question and someone doesn't answer us. That like makes you livid. That makes you so goddamn angry. In fact, most of the time you pull the person up and say like, yo, did you just hear me? I asked you a question. Like, what's the answer? Like that shit starts fights. Guys get fucking aggressive and angry over that because it feels fucked up. Someone asked you a direct question. And yes, not all the time are you entitled to the answer, right? Like if I say to someone, why did you wear that red shirt today? They don't have to tell me. But
sure, but I think if you're...
It's a direct question one-on-one. That's a different situation.
Yeah, someone that you've also like had sex with, assuming multiple times. Like there is a bit of like you owe them at least the truth.
If you don't want to say that, I just don't get why the truth isn't being said here. When it's so easy, almost no girls will leave you when you say it. 99% of the girls say like, oh, cool, thanks for letting me know. Cool, thanks. Now I know where I am. Cool, cheers. It just seems like more effort than it's worth. It really does. You're not giving her all the information, like the pieces of the puzzle that she needs in order to make her decision and figure out if she wants to keep seeing her, if she wants to, like, you know. And again, 99% of the time, when you say, hey, this is only ever going to be casual, I literally only want something casual, which is like what we say to girls now, because you and I are obviously dating each other. Any girls that we sleep with, it's like, this is literally just casual. And all the girls are like, cool, thanks, now I know. Like, why is that ever an issue? Why would that ever be an issue? Especially from two guys who got laid plenty and really didn't need to be playing these games. So look at it more from an empathy point of view. We'll start wrapping up. Think of it from her point of view. She's just trying to plan out her dating life. She's trying to like make a decision going forward so she can figure out what her future is. Doubly so when you remember that girls, for the most part, by the time they're 30, they really want to have their dating life in order. They have less time than us men. And you sitting there wasting her time, I just don't get the point of that. Like, just have a tiny bit of empathy and say, like, she's asked me a direct question. She just wants to know the answer. It isn't a manipulation tactic. She isn't fucking with you. She isn't trying to steal a relationship from you or something. She just wants to know, like, what the fuck is this? And you say, hey, this is just casual. And she's like, cool, thanks, cheers. Yeah. Great, brilliant. Okay, I'm having fun with you. I'd love to keep seeing you. We say this to girls all the time. This is what you say. I say this to girls all the goddamn time. You say to her, as long as you're happy to see me, you say, this is just casual, like I just want something sexual. As long as you're happy to keep seeing me, I'm happy to keep seeing you. That's all you got to say. Yeah. And most girls are like, cool, that sounds really nice. Yeah, I'm happy to keep seeing you for now. We said that to a girl like
the other week.
A week ago. And she was like, yeah, I really like seeing you guys. Yeah, I'd like to keep seeing you. And it's like, cool, great. So we'll just keep doing that then. Like, easy, done. And now she's like, cool, I know exactly what this is. I know where we stand. I don't have to keep asking every month and bring up drama and start an argument, make things uncomfortable and weird. And what happens when you're honest, when you just say, this is where we are, this is what we want, this is what I want from you, I just want something casual, I just want something sexual. Or if you want more than that, just be honest about that too. Say like, yeah, I just want something casual for now, but like I'm definitely open to more. Like, you know, I like you, let's like keep seeing what happens and then go from there. Like whatever you want to say, right? Whatever the truth is, whatever you're looking for. When you do that, when you're honest with her, what happens? She can relax. She doesn't have to have this like, oh, I better hold back and like not get feelings, or I can't be too open and sexual with him because, you know, what if I show him the most perverted, like dirty parts of me and then he just stops seeing me? Like that won't feel good, right? Like I'm going to feel like used, so to speak. So when you tell her the truth, she can relax and open up. So not only do you get more affection, more honesty, more femininity, that siren in the background is really annoying. More of those good things that we're all looking for as men, you also get like more sexuality, right? Like the girls that we date, they can open up,
relax and open up. And if anything, it just means that you have a nicer time together because she's not stiff and like
and cold.
Because
a lot of girls have to be you're right, on edge. Yeah, cold, like holding back basically. Because like, well, what if in a week he stops seeing me?
Yeah, and I think
what if I get my heart broken?
Ultimately, do you want to be having sex with someone you have to lie to have sex with them? Like,
when it's unnecessary. If this was necessary, we'd be having a different conversation. If you literally had to lie to women in order to sleep with them, I would probably have a different philosophy on this. I'd be like, well, I don't like lying. It's against my philosophies, but look, it's literally mandatory. But it's not even remotely necessary. In fact, you get laid less and the sex is worse.
Yeah, and I think unfortunately that's what's being said though. It's like, you have to do this. This is the only option, which is what's harmful to people seeking advice, if that's the advice that's being given.
Yeah, don't trust conventional wisdom. And like I've done episodes about that as well. And I think this is one of those things where it is the I shouldn't say it's the conventional wisdom. We've just cherry picked like 2 people who agree with that. And yes, a lot of people do advocate for lying to women, but guess what? A lot don't. So Mark Manson is a really good example. His book Models is basically about being authentic and telling the truth and being honest and like the same sort of topics I talk about, having women on the same team as you, like just treating them like she's a fucking person, right? And getting laid that way. And that's like him talking about getting laid, not just dating, like getting laid. He used to be a pickup artist, or he read and wrote a lot of pickup artist articles. So I won't say it's mainstream or that it's common, but there are enough people saying that you should lie to women and like deflect and play these games when it's really not necessary. And I really do want to make it goddamn clear that the sex is like 80 billion times better the more she can relax. Because she can relax and try some of the kinky shit that you're into. She can tell you the kinky shit she's into without feeling vulnerable, without feeling like an idiot. Because if she's sitting there not sure if you're going to stop seeing her in a week, right? Is she really going to tell you all the fucked up stuff on her bucket list that you might judge her for? Why would she do that? Like, why the hell would she open up to you? Why would she bother being vulnerable? Why would she bother being real with you? Why would she bother sharing anything? Why would she bother doing anything nice for you? You also get a less affection. She's less likely to come over and cook you dinner or buy you something or get you a little gift or do something nice for you, like, or send you nude pictures. Like, you're getting less of everything because she has to hold back because she's not sure if in a week you're just going to ghost her. Like, why the fuck would she give you everything she had? Or why would she give you more? Why would she give you all of herself, if she thinks you're just going to fuck off? Like, if you guys think a girl is going to stop seeing you in a week, you won't fucking give her everything. You won't tell her everything on your sexual bucket list. You won't tell her about, like, your hopes and dreams. You won't, like, hang out with her for more than necessary. You won't give her any affection. You won't chill with her on the weekend. You won't introduce her to any of your friends. And I'm not saying you have to want to do all that stuff, especially if it's a casual relationship, but even just in a sexual sense, you're not going to be as sexually open with a girl if you think in a week she might just stop seeing me. Because why would you bother? Like, why would you bother? And I guess that's the crux of it. Maybe we should end on that. Why the fuck would a girl bother if you can't even be bothered answering her fucking simple question? Why should she bother?